It takes a village, because for all means for all. Together we'll break down any wall. Linked in love, we won't disarm. We're uniting the grassroots army strong. So press play, feel the spark. This is where the movement starts. It takes a village and we're the proof. Truth in action, raising the roof. It takes a village. It takes a village. We rise together, louder than fear. One voice, one fire, crystal clear. From every banner, every street, unity moves on dancing feet. We rise together, we're strong. A million hearts singing one song.
So, yes, I cannot wait to talk to you, my dear. It has been awesome. I can't wait to see what you've been up to since the last time we had you on the show. And
Yeah.
and just so you guys know, the whole purpose of this show, on our stack, we do a series about badass women, and we write articles about badass women. There's one in there about Liz Mkhitaryan. There's and you are going to be number 2. And if everybody knows, if you don't know who Liz Mkhitaryan is, she is incredible, amazing, wonderful individual, founder of Stop Moms for Liberty, and needed and wanted, and her work is incredibly valuable
Yes.
in this climate. So yes, Liz Mkhitaryan is on the stack. Kate's going to be next. So that's the whole purpose of our show today, is so that we can take all of this juicy nuggets of information that we get today and throw it in the Substack so people can learn more about Kate and what she's doing to change the world. So we have a very small following in here right now, but that is okay. Tap out the live if you can, share it with your friends, and make sure you're following Kate, because she's an amazing, amazing person.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited.
It's going to be great. I am doing a thing here that I don't know is allowed, but I'm doing it anyways. So bear with me for just a second, and then we will get started. Remind me what state you're located in.
North Carolina.
Oh, you poor dear. Oh dear. Yeah, it could be worse.
I love it here, though. It's true that we have some stuff.
North Carolina is gorgeous.
Yes.
You guys got big bugs just like we do.
Yeah.
Right? And you got
It's
humidity.
a feature.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hurricanes from time to time. Although I did hear that Donald Trump is doing a fantastic job of keeping those hurricanes away. So thank God for that black Sharpie. Because
I was going to say, he and his Sharpie are just redirecting things away from us left and right.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Yeah, because the East Coast, man, they're getting hammered. Those hurricanes, man, got a mind of their own. So, North Carolina is gorgeous. But as far as, and I feel the same way about Texas. Texas is wonderful. But as far as the politics go, we have a lot in common.
Yep.
Right? Like it's not a flex. I'm not.
No.
Yes.
No, but I think one of the things we do have in common is that there are ways to draw district lines and voting maps that would actually make Texas blue and North Carolina blue, which is wild and part of the point.
Yeah, and if we had legislatures that had a backbone to do it, then we would be in even better position, and that's where the Catlin Victory Fund comes in.
That's right.
It's going to be fantastic. Okay, so I hope y'all have gotten your refreshments, gotten yourselves a little snack, gotten yourselves a very comfortable and empty bladder. Very important. So let's go ahead and get started, folks, because today we're talking to someone who isn't just playing the game. She's flipping the damn board, and we all know how much Political Jess loves flipping shit over. Okay, joining us today is Kate Barr from the Can't Win Victory Fund. Yes, you heard that right. Can't win. Spoiler alert, they're winning anyway. Because apparently doing the impossible is just another Tuesday for Kate, or Wednesday, as it were. She's out here shaking up politics like it's a snow globe, and trust me, the old guard is not loving the view. So if you're tired of the same recycled talking points and want to hear from someone who's rewriting the rules, you're in the right place. So before we dive in, do me a favor, tap up that screen like it owes you money and share this live out with everyone who's ever said politics never changes. Because Kate Barr is here to prove them wrong. With style, grit, and maybe a lot of chaos. So if you're ready, let's go.
I love all of the allusions you just made to snow globes and flipping the table. That reminds me of like Teresa from the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And I've always wanted to flip a table. So man. This is awesome.
That's what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to make you bigger. Everybody give a very warm welcome to the incomparable Kate Barr. Thank you.
Hold on, let me put my hair on top of my head so I don't look quite so bald today. This is the only problem with the bleach on the scalp platinum hairdo.
Yes.
Is that, you can look hairless. No, It didn't work. Well, guys, I have hair. It's cool.
It's okay. It's okay. We're here for it. It's all right. That's why I have to do all of the colors, because when my hair looks like yours, it looks like I have no hair. So
maybe I'll do hot pink next.
Melanated. I'm just, extra lacking
absolutely.
Of all of the pigment in my skin. I'm translucent is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So before we get started, I want to kind of give everybody a little bit of a background on who you are and what you do. So can you give me like a little synopsis on the Can't Win Victory Fund?
Yes. I founded the Can't Win Victory Fund right after I ran for state senate in 2024. My background is in behavioral science and persuasive communication. I spent about 2 decades studying how our brains take in information to result in behavior change. So when the opportunity came up to run for state senate in my freshly gerrymandered district in North Carolina, I decided to take what I knew about behavioral science and communication and apply it to politics, and launched Kate Barr Can't Win for my state senate district. I declared my loss the day I filed. And it was a protest against gerrymandering, right? Like, we have to face the truth about what gerrymandering does to our elections, and we can't fight what we won't face. And so my goal was to put it like really up in front of people's faces in a way that they would engage with. And my job, I was supposed to go back to my job after I lost the state senate race. And I did lose it, because that is exactly how gerrymandering works.
Yeah, shocking.
But it turned out that it helped the district in ways that we were not expecting. So it's basically like, when we went and looked at the data, the red part of my district got bluer, one of only 8 places in North Carolina that had that happen in 2024. The other 7 were hit by Hurricane Helene. We found that I outperformed other state senate candidates in similar districts. We flipped some R votes to Ds, which in North Carolina is a really big deal, because we will have statewide candidates win by 734 votes out of 5.5 million. So those flipped votes are incredibly important for our statewide elections. And we thought, oh gosh, there might be something here. Like, we need to see if this works on a larger scale. So started the Can't Win Victory Fund, and now we're out helping candidates across North Carolina in these gerrymandered districts.
I think that's so freaking cool. So basically you say, fuck it, we're running anyway. That's a rallying cry, right? So what does that phrase mean to you personally?
The outcome of the election is predetermined by how the maps are drawn. But there are so many other wins, and this whole political system, our system of government, is not just about winning elections. That's for sure important. Mm-hmm. But they want us to feel unempowered. They want us to feel like our votes don't matter. They want us to feel like there's nothing we can do. and we are sending 2 middle fingers right back, and we are doing something anyway. That's right.
Yep.
And we're doing it in a way that changes things up the ballot and that changes things down the road.
Exactly, Kayla. They want us to feel alone and isolated. And for a lot of places, a lot of red, especially red states, it's working. There's so many people who are disenfranchised. These states that have been run by Republicans for decades. And if you look at their stats, they're abysmal. Like, lower under 40th in all of the important markers. Education, poverty, economy, all of the things they're all failing miserably in, but they've brainwashed all these Republicans into thinking that they've got to be big, strong Republicans and stick with their ticket, even though it's screwing them over. So it's really annoying. So 80% of the elections, as you said, are decided before a single vote is cast. So how do you stay motivated in a system that feels so fucking rigged?
Yeah. It helps that, especially in North Carolina, we have a very clear path to fair maps in the next 5 years. And so we have steps that we need to be doing, and we need our voters to be engaged every step along the way. Here, to get fair maps, we need to flip our state Supreme Court from conservative control to Democrat control. Right now, we have 2 Democrats out of 7 on the state Supreme Court. One of them is up for re-election in 2026. Her name is Justice Anita Earls, and she is the baddest ass that I have ever met. She is so cool. Everybody should go follow her and send her money. She is brilliant. She has worked on voting rights and civil rights for her whole career and issues like RBG level dissents. I just adore her. So she's a good one. And we are going to reelect her in 2026, which keeps us motivated for this cycle. And then in 2028, we actually need to flip 3 conservative justice seats to Democrats. And we don't know who those candidates will be yet because we're not there. So we are practicing with Justice Earls, who's such an easy yes, to learn what works, getting folks to care about judicial elections and pay attention so that we can do that plus some for our 2028 candidates. That keeps me motivated on a local level because there is real change that can happen if we just put in the work. On a national level, voters are pissed. It's not hard to stay motivated when we have all these indicators that voters are no, I don't want this. Get out of here with that nonsense.
So weird how fascism unites people.
I mean, thank goodness, honestly.
Right.
I saw somebody posted a thing that made me feel really hopeful. It was from, someone said this thing. So I apologize to everyone that I'm not properly crediting here. But a person from overseas put a comment in this person's TikTok that was I don't know why you Americans are so depressed. You are actively defeating fascism. It took us decades to do it over here. You're doing the job. Just keep going. And so that's the motivation, right? It's starting to feel a little better, starting to feel a little looser, like there's room for movement. And I think in the next 2 elections for 2026 and 2028, voters are essentially choosing who is going to be sitting at the table when we build whatever the new version of our democracy in our country is. We are sitting in a pile of rubble right now with barely standing or not standing institutions. And we have a chance to make something better on the other side of it. And so thinking about who should be at that table, making sure that the people I think would be awesome to help shape that have every chance they can to win in those elections. It's just really important. And so we're building a bench here in North Carolina, as you are in Texas. You got to run and you got to get your reps in, even when you can't win. Yes. And then you're practiced. So I don't know. The motivation is not hard for me to find right now.
I think that is so important to talk about, especially when we reserve at It Takes a Village, we reserve Wednesdays for wins. And because we really feel like in a movement of resistance, in a movement that needs to keep the motivation, the way that you do that is by talking about your wins. So I can't thank you enough for being here, truly. I'm so excited that you're here and we're talking about this today. It means the world. So on that note, what is the most satisfying moment that you've had proving the system wrong on your journey?
Oh my gosh, there are so many.
I know
I don't
you have
even
to
know
pick
how
one.
to choose.
It's like picking your favorite kid, but you have to pick your favorite kid. I mean, pick your
It
favorite
really,
kid,
okay.
Kate.
I'm gonna pick a couple of different ones. All right.
Okay.
So right now we're talking about the Can't Win Victory Fund,
Yes.
which is my political nonprofit. And there have been a lot of satisfying moments, all related to the candidates, or we call them candidates, who are running for state ledge in 26. But I had a conversation with a really amazing candidate who will be running unaffiliated. And she is a mom of 4. She homeschools her kids, so she doesn't have a job outside of her house. Her husband has a small business. They recently moved to like a newer trailer closer to like a city center. And she is one of those moms who's like, I don't have time to run for office, but I got to look my kids in the face in 20 years and tell them what I did. And so I'm doing it anyway.
Love it.
And she is exactly like, back to the point of who's going to be at the table. Like, she is exactly who needs to be at the table. Exactly. Like, she understands everything about living in our country, not making enough money, trying to educate your children, running a small business, housing being too expensive. Like, she has so many lived experiences that we need to understand and need to like improve. So that's like a big win to me. I adore her. She's amazing. I can't wait for you to meet her.
So when you decide who you want to bring into the Can't Win Victory Fund, do you have a benchmark of like qualifications that they have to meet? Like you can't give a shit what's in somebody's underwear. You can't give a shit who's playing sports. You can't give a shit who somebody is going to marry or who they're going to love. You have to be a fan of bodily autonomy. Are all of these things like conversations that you have with people to make sure that they are going to uphold the highest ideals of what this American promise is?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, our job is to find the people who would never run because they, for whatever reason, don't think they could win. They don't want to run in a red district because it costs so much social capital. We want to find those like-minded folks, those values-aligned folks. You have to believe in public schools. Like, you can homeschool your kids, absolutely. But you should believe that every child has a right to a high-quality public education. You have to believe that teachers should get paid a reasonable amount of money. When we're talking about the state legislature, like, they don't really have much to do with immigration, but you have to have like an open heart and an open mind and basically want to govern with empathy, even though you will not govern at all. But the number one thing they have to be able to do is hold the line on can't win. This is actually like a really hard thing to do, especially right now. So we don't run can't win candidates in districts unless they're R+10 or higher. Because when you look at like an election happening across the nation, which is what we'll have in November, you're not going to see the same kind of results that you see in these special elections because the focus will be more dispersed, right? Like, you won't have the whole country is focused on Tennessee 7 and therefore we're all calling and we're all donating and whatever. It's like, we're not expecting to see a wave of quite that size. So R+10 is our benchmark for can't win. And those candidates have to be ready to talk about how gerrymandering affects the things that people care about in their daily lives. How does gerrymandering affect the traffic on Main Street? How does it affect your property taxes? Why should you care about voting maps if you don't like how homes are being built in your community? Like, gerrymandering touches literally every part of our lives, and most people don't know it. And these candidates their job in life is to talk to people about what gerrymandering it is, how it affects voters' lives, and how we can fix it.
Yeah, it not only affects all of the daily lives too, but it impacts your very ability to vote. Like it's your, and I talk about this all the time. I moved to Texas, like an idiot from California, right? And in California, you could vote by mail. They send you your ballot with all the information that you need to make an educated, informed decision on where you're placing your vote. They have polling places at every corner. You could pick up a coffee and a hot dog while you're dropping off your ballot. Like, they make it a big deal, and it's so convenient and easy, and there's polling places everywhere. And then I moved to Texas, and they put you in a straw suit, and they give you 57 flaming hoops to jump through in order to practice your American right to cast your ballot. I have to drive 45 minutes to my polling place.
Yeah.
So who do you think that's going to affect? That's going to affect people that don't have transportation, lower income people, marginalized communities, people who have jobs that can't get off of work like they're supposed to, but it's not happening. So of course this is like, that's my big thing. If we can make the whole voting thing in our country fair, so that I have the same rights and the same access to the ballot as somebody in California does.
Yep.
Like that should, states can run the elections. Fine. States can run the elections, but the rules have to be the same. You know what I'm saying?
I do. And what's really interesting about gerrymandering is that it's not just about rigging the maps for a specific electoral outcome. It also makes voter suppression more efficient because there are fewer competitive races. It's easier for the party in power or the people trying to protect their power to focus on those places that are competitive, to spend money to suppress voter turnout. We're seeing it all over North Carolina right now because we have a highly competitive Senate race. The Republican,
Who is what is
Republican
her
Board
name?
of Elections is closing early voting sites and polling places on a number of our universities. They just closed one at Western Carolina. They closed a couple around North Carolina A&T. These are, of course, students who use these polling places. A&T is a historically Black college.
It's Angie isn't Dr. Angie. What is her name? Oh my gosh, I can't remember her name. Against Lindsey Graham.
Oh, Annie Andrews.
Annie Andrews, that's the one. Yes. Yes. So, do you feel like Lindsay's in trouble? Is Lindsay a girl?
So Annie's running in South Carolina against Lindsey Graham for Senate.
South Carolina. See, I always get those two mixed up.
No, but we should talk about her anyway. She is my pal, and she's brilliant, and I cannot imagine a better human being to sit in the Senate. So it's like a big lift, but if there's a year to do it, it's this one.
I think that
our Senate race is Roy Cooper versus a Republican, and they have a primary, but it will probably be this guy named Michael Whatley, who's lame and terrible.
That's not good. I really feel like more women should be in government. I feel like I really feel like the men have done a great job of mucking it up for the past 400 years, and it's our turn now. The
thing that the narrative that I'm ready to move past is the one that's like Black women can't win or women can't win. So many white men have lost, but we didn't take away that white men can't win. I just don't get that. That's like the one where I'm like, y'all just cut that nonsense out.
Yeah.
Roy Cooper is like a North Carolina legend. So I very much hope he will win. He and I don't share every single, policy position in alignment, but I think he would do a really good job for us.
Yeah, and I think that that's fair. I don't think that you need the perfect candidate, You don't need the perfect candidate. You can't let perfect be the enemy of good. So, Yes, Kayla, they've had their turn. They need to sit down. She's right. So gerrymandering is the villain of your origin story. What is your strategy for fighting back when the maps are stacked? I know you've sort of talked about this a little bit, but can you dive more into the nitty-gritty on your specific strategy?
Yes. So we are actually coming at this from multiple angles because it's going to take attacking it from a lot of sides. We've talked about the Can't Win Victory Fund. The goal there is to run quality candidates who are amazing and would be excellent in government, but who can't get there because of the maps, to run those candidates in these gerrymandered places. And the thing about their districts is they're basically like an innovation lab for the Democratic playbook. Because you can't win, you also can't screw it up. So we combine these brilliant, high quality, authentic, charismatic candidates with districts where the candidates can really try anything. And when we find something that works, we can share that up with folks up the ballot, with competitive district candidates, that kind of thing, and build a bench. So the candidates that run in unwinnable districts now could very well be sitting in a winnable district in 2030 when we get fair maps. And so we want them to have name recognition. We want them to know how to run a campaign. We want them to feel comfortable campaigning. And it's not easy the first time you do it. It's actually never easy, but especially the first time. So that's like can't win strategy. Drive voter turnout for statewide elections right now, do the experiments, and establish quality candidates in their communities. Then we can't really wait until 2030 to start accomplishing things.
Yeah.
So that's like can't win is a little bit now and a lot long term. What I'm also trying just personally is I'm running as a Republican in my Republican congressional primary against the incumbent. Right. And there are plenty of people who have tried something like this on both sides of the aisle in, history. The difference is that I'm not pretending to be a Republican of any sort. The only thing Republican about me is the R next to my name, which is just what is required to run in that primary. So I'm telling people what I would do. Oh, yes. You have a finger up. Yes.
I lost my sound. So give me just a second.
Oh, you're back.
This happens from time to time. So can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay. We're going to have to cheat a little bit here. This happens from time to time. I'm working in, I'm in my vocal booth. And so sometimes the sound just kind of cuts out for no reason. It's really weird. So I'm going to see if I can figure it out. But in the meantime, I want to ask you another question while you can talk and I can do some technical mumbo jumbo here. So, okay. So you say that both parties gerrymander, but the Republicans are doing it more. So how do you navigate that politically without losing focus?
Yeah. So I never expected gerrymandering to be quite the hot topic that it is right now and that it's been this fall. North Carolina is the place I know best. It's where I'm from. It's like the clearest, cleanest path to fair maps that I know most intimately is here. And so I am primarily focused on North Carolina right now because we're also in the middle of candidate filing. We have had people write to us and ask us to help them run Can't Win or establish a Can't Win Victory Fund in their states. And my goal is if we can raise enough money, we'll do that. We are going to start with what we know we can accomplish because we don't want to promise something to candidates and not show up for them. But if we raise enough money, we'll go places like South Carolina. We'll go places like Texas. Texas is probably the number one place that we get folks asking us to come. And I'm not great at keeping my focus is the real, hard, honest truth about it. But I have amazing people that I work with who remind me that we can't solve every problem. This is what we are fighting on. And if we can fix our maps we can accomplish so many other things on the other side of that. Like everything we care about becomes possible when we can hold our leaders accountable. I see New Hampshire.
Definitely.
We're putting New Hampshire on the list,
huge.
Kayla.
Yes, definitely. There's like a second to a delay. So I still can't get my sound working, but my microphone works. So we're gonna roll with it. So just I'm so sorry and thank you for being patient. But yes, New Hampshire, Kayla's got a huge bench in New Hampshire over there. She's ready.
Yes.
Kayla, did you want to talk about your people?
Oh, yeah, I'll talk about my people while you try to figure out your sound if you want me to. Hi, Kate. How you doing?
I'm going to email you
Hi,
my
I'm
list
great.
of
How are
questions
you?
so you can be my fabulous co-host.
Good. Well, thanks. I moved up pay grade. I'm excited. Um, I'm good. So here
I know,
in New
right? That
Hampshire,
doesn't
we
come with a
have,
pay. That doesn't come with a pay increase. I'm just telling you.
I'm still waiting for my corner office with a window view. So in New Hampshire, we have these established dams that have been in there
Right.
from
So
generations. APAC money, they have all this money that
Yeah.
no one else does because our state reps, you don't get paid to to go and work. So it's basically we are left with a couple of demographics that can afford to do that. But we're trying to change that right now. And we are we have his name's John Kuiper. He's gonna run against Ayotte, which is awesome. He's grassroots. And then I have the lady that I'm working with, and her name is Paige, and she's a nurse. She's very into the community health, homelessness, and things like that. And she's actually going to be here on Friday, but she's a grassroots candidate too, and she's going to go for Congress. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys are geared to help grassroots candidates in other states, because it's going to be hard going up against all this money and these established people. Because I don't know if you heard about the drama with Shaheen, and then someone called her out about that. That
Oh,
wasn't a
yes.
heckler. That was a rep.
Yeah.
He's actually running for Congress Heath, and that is the Shaheen and Hassan who they've been running New Hampshire, and we just have the old guard needs to go because they're not helping us. And now they made homelessness illegal in a city. So these poor people are getting all these fines, even though we go to these town halls and things like that, and people pour their hearts out. They're like, well, that's too bad. And they just passed it anyway, like 3 weeks ago. And then they
Oh,
held a huge Democrat ball with Cory Booker there too. And it was kind of like an eat the rich moment. Like 2 days before um, they said homelessness is illegal in the same town that they held this big expensive dinner.
yeah. It,
So yeah, we gotta get that change. We need to get that push. I, I was just, as I said, like I just came on here to see what your guys's thoughts are or what you guys offer.
yeah. So, I completely agree. Like, all party stuff aside, people who have come to power in the system that we have now are essentially keeping their power because the system doesn't change, but the system doesn't serve us, the voters, the people anymore. Not that it really ever did, but especially now. And so if folks, no matter what party they're from, are trying to hold on to that party, to that power by suppressing voter voices, by gerrymandering their districts, it is entirely normal, even in a Republican gerrymander, that they will carve out some Democratic strongholds for the people that they find it, quote, easy to work with in the state legislature. So, yeah, we have a lot of work to do across the board with parties and with making sure that people who have new ideas that actually will help us as a country are at the table. As far as what we offer, we mostly work on state legislative races because those are the places where we can really be certain about the can't win component on the can't win victory side fund. Right now, we have funding to be able to work primarily in North Carolina for 2026, but it's early. And if we get money in the door, then we will absolutely support candidates in other places. Our support looks like real tangible support. So there's some training stuff around social media and making sure that people know how to look at like the green light when they take a selfie instead of at their own faces, that kind of stuff. But we do a lot of work helping people get their websites set up, making sure that they know how to fundraise, and have like the tools to collect the money legally and a treasurer who can help them report it legally. We help people with merch and branding and messaging and video editing and really just like the deal is when you run in one of these can't win districts, if you're running in a gerrymandered place and you're not going to win, you're not going to raise a lot of money. You're not going to have a campaign staff. You definitely don't have like a paid campaign manager. And so all of those supports need to come from somewhere if we're going to have people run well. And so that's really the work that we do for state legislative races. That said, we have a consulting group that it's called Slay Strategies that will work with any candidate who is values aligned with us from essentially anywhere in the country. We're structured that way for compliance reasons. And like every time I have a new idea, I think we need a new entity seems to be how that works out. But we absolutely work with other candidates, and we have a lot of great partners across the country as well who are already doing quality work in those places. So basically I'm saying slide into my DMs and let's see what y'all need and what we might have that can help.
Amazing. You guys can hear me now, can't you?
Hey, she's back.
Yes. Okay, so I had to it's kind of hilarious. I'm in my vocal booth, and from time to time, everything will be fine. We'll be gelling. Everything's great. Everything's going so well. And then all of a sudden there's like a little, and I'm like, there's nothing. And I'm like, oh shit. I just lost the sound. And I can't hear. I don't know if it's my headphones or what, but we're duct taping this shit together. We're making it work. You're
doing such a good job.
We're going. It's great. So jumping right back into things, thank you so much for being patient with me. And Kayla, thank you this is what's called stretching in the business. Okay. So thank you for doing that for me. I appreciate you. So I want to know what your take is on how gerrymandering affects voter psychology and how do you counter that?
Yeah. So, voters aren't stupid. Like there's this premise that voters are stupid and that's wrong. People know when their vote matters and when they can affect the outcome and when they can't. And so if two things happen in a gerrymandered district, one is people know that the outcome is decided. They know they live in a red place. They're like, why bother go standing in line to vote or driving 40 minutes to go vote because they've moved my polling place to the rich white community that is 30 minutes away.
Yep.
That's like incredibly understandable. People are busy. Our states, Texas, North Carolina, a number of others are making it as hard as possible for people to vote. And some folks are just like, forget it. The other side of it is that because these are unwinnable districts and the way that the Democratic Party largely in these Republican gerrymanders has functioned is to focus on the winnable places. Makes sense, right? You want to win now so that you can govern now so you can do all the things. But that means we've left a ton of voters behind across the country, across North Carolina, there are people who have never heard from their Democratic candidate. They may not have had a Democratic candidate for a long time. I've told this story a couple of times, but I think it like so clearly illustrates voter psychology. I was knocking doors when I was running for state senate, knocked the door of an 80-year-old woman who had lived in her house for 40 years. No one had ever knocked on her door for anything political ever. And she was so excited that I was there that she literally tried to give me a puppy. Her dog had just had puppies, and she had this 8-week-old little baby girl dog named Minnie, and tried to send me home with this puppy.
Oh my gosh.
It was, and like my daughter has never forgiven me for not taking that dog, just by the by. But like, if we show up for voters, they will show up for us. If we don't show up for them, what is their motivation to turn out?
Yeah.
What is their, like, they need to feel important and seen. They deserve that. We deserve that. You deserve that. And I think we have, like, Democratic Party, we progressive politics, we have done a pretty terrible job of showing up in these red places.
Yes.
And making sure the folks who are values aligned with us know that they're not alone.
Colin Allred can tell you all about that.
Yep.
Because Colin Allred did exactly that. He ignored a lot of the more rural places in Texas, people, places like where I live, and he lost to Ted Cruz, fucking Cruz.
Yep.
Of all people. Like, how do you lose against that? And nobody likes that guy. So, yeah, it was bizarre. It was strange. So yes, that is amazing. Thank you for that. Where am I here? What makes somebody a candidate? Is it grit, geography, or something else entirely?
Definitely grit. Definitely a desire to see a change in the system. Someone who is a little rebellious, likes to have fun, because being a candidate is actually incredibly fun. Like, we prioritize having a good time while we do this. They have to operate from a place of empathy. You can't win if you can't talk to red voters. You don't have to agree with them about actually anything, but you have to be willing to talk to them about our voting maps.
Yes.
And we want people who, like, understand the stakes, like why we're doing it, why they're doing it. And then the last piece, and this is like maybe the hardest one, is our candidates have to have a win that's not winning the election, like something that feels like a win to them, that's in their control about running, that is what keeps them going when, like, you're in the middle of the 57th day of door knocking and it's August and you're hot and sweaty and you're like, why am I doing this again? You have to have that win and that why that will keep you going.
I love that. So how do you support candidates who are told that they can't win, and what do they teach you in return?
So we support them largely by showing up for them in the same way that you would expect, like, someone to show up in a targeted race. So we make sure that they have all of the materials and branding and merch and website and social media and field plan and all of that they need to run effectively. And then we basically exist to serve them during their campaigns. There are some state laws around when the C4 has to stop, like, working with them. So once that happens, then our consulting firm will probably step in, but we don't, we'll see how that unfolds. It's 90 days.
Puzzle piece. Sorry. TikTok be doing weird TikTok-y things.
We love TikTok for
love
so
TikTok.
many reasons.
Yes, their shop is amazing. Go buy yourself a frog suit. You were saying? So sorry about that.
the things that they teach me, oh my gosh, we were on a call with some of our candidates just on Monday night. And one of the women who's running is the mom of a kid who's trans, and and the mom is nervous about her family's safety while she's running.
Understandably so.
Totally understandable.
Yeah, people are disgusting.
Yes. Her family is out about it. They've like been very public about it. It's not like it's important to them that nothing about their family structure comes across as a secret or something shameful. But this mom really does want to make sure that her child is safe. And I'm like, yes. But we have.
Did you mute yourself or did I lose sound again?
Here we go.
There we go. Did you get a call? I was like, not again. No.
I know, it was me. No. I got a call. And I sent it goodbye. Sorry, Eric. I'll call you later.
You're right. It's freaking me out. I'm like, no.
Yeah, no, we're so good.
Blame Republicans.
But so this mom just like raises to the group that she's nervous about safety. And then one of our other candidates is a gay veteran. And so I have nothing, like I'm a straight, white, suburban, middle-aged woman with young kids. Like all I can say is we've got your back, right?
Yeah.
But one of our other candidates hops in and he talks about how empowering he has felt it to be to run for office in a red place, identifying exactly as who he is, and basically saying they want us to be quiet and they want us to feel afraid, and we simply will not. And then another candidate hops on who happened to be trans and talked about how meaningful it would have been to him to have his parent run for office to try to secure his rights, which is what this mom is doing. And so it was just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
These people who are not going to win their elections are doing it anyway because it matters so much to them that they are speaking out into the world, their truth, their values, trying to change the world and our country and our state to be like the place that it should be for them. And like, I don't know, I just sat there weeping as they supported each other. Like they didn't need me. I was useless to them in this moment, but they needed each other. And it was really, really cool to see.
That's beautiful. Yeah. I think it's so incredibly valuable for people who are like on the front lines when it comes to rights being taken away, not just women, but trans people in Texas here can't use the bathroom. Like they can't use the bathroom. Like how messed up is that? It is infuriating. Like what are they doing? And it doesn't stopping somebody from using the bathroom. And it's always in these red states, right? But stopping somebody from using the bathroom isn't going to lower your property taxes. It's not going to make your groceries more affordable, right? It doesn't make any sense to me that they are choosing to go over these, I call them bullshit culture wars, over the basic needs of the populace. It doesn't.
That's why they choose it. They can't address our basic needs, or won't really. They won't address our basic needs because in order to do that, they would have to take money out of their donors and their corporate pockets. And so they distract us with things that they assume people like don't understand or feel nervous about. And they turn those into issues that actually aren't real, don't exist. And so it's just like every time one of those things pops up, like North Carolina, they tried for a bathroom bill a few years ago, and then they just like tried to pass another one, and it's absolute rubbish. And they do it when they want to distract us from how they're harming us on a larger scale. And, we just have to refuse to be distracted. I saw your note that maybe there's some experience worth worth sharing if someone's up for it.
Yeah, I'll let her get back to me. She was just at the Capitol here in Texas, and she has a story to tell. So,
Yeah.
I don't want to step on her toes, but I definitely would love for her to come up if you want to, Rye. It's totally up to you. I don't want to pressure you or anything. I'm pressuring you a little bit, just a little bit. But if you don't want to, it's totally fine. I'll ask you the next question while Rye's getting situated if she wants to pop up. So, okay. So, what is a story of a candidate who ran, didn't win, but still made a massive impact? I know you talked about yourself, but pick another person that you have in your pocket.
Okay, so what's wild is that as much as we can tell, I was the first one to do it in 2024. So that's kind of the only data we have. And as a scientist, that's why we want to grow it and see if we have the same impact on a larger scale and then grow it again. We're sort of in the phase 2 trial of the whole thing. I will share, this is an impact. This person has not even started running for office yet, but they filed, and she'll be running as a candidate. Her husband and her best friend have never been registered voters, never voted in their lives, didn't even register, felt like the system wasn't for them. And both the husband and the best friend went and registered to vote on the day that this candidate filed, because they finally felt like there was someone to vote for that would actually represent them. And that's 2 people, but that's 2 more people voting than had voted before. And it really speaks to who the candidates are. They are people who genuinely represent their communities. They are members of the community. They are people who have experience in the community. It's not like the rich guy who can afford, to Kaylaw's point, who can afford to go to Raleigh. This is a person with lived experience. We pay our state legislators $13,000 a year, I think, and they get a tiny per diem that might bring it up to, I don't know, 18,000. Let's be generous. So people can't afford to do this as a job. And yet we have candidates running now who actually represent the voices that need to be heard, and they will make themselves heard. And that part is really, really cool. That's wins already.
Yeah, I think that's great. And it's funny to me, the disparity between Mike Johnson standing up on Capitol Hill talking about how they need a pay raise and how important it is that they get a pay raise. But yet you have these state representatives and even just the regular populace who's working for minimum wage or less. And it's just tell me you're not in touch with the American people without saying you're not in touch with the American people.
Yeah. It's there's a group called the Patriotic Millionaires, which, they basically are saying tax us more. We are disproportionately benefiting from America, and so tax us more.
Yeah.
And they have put together a series of bills that are really, really interesting that would help put money back in people's pockets. And it's functionally a tax cut where households, their bill is each person's first $45,000 they earn, which is the median income in the US. First $45,000 you earn would be tax-free. No federal taxes on that.
Be so nice.
Wouldn't it be so nice?
So nice.
And we pay for it by taxing incomes over $1 million. That's incomes, right? So that means you have to be bringing in $1 million a year to see those tax hikes. For my campaign, we're talking about it as $100,000 per household is federal income tax free. Because the workers are the ones who are paying for America right now. When you look at the tax rates that, you and I pay versus the tax rate that Elon Musk pays, we're paying a higher percentage, and it's ridiculous.
It is.
It is. And it's not just ridiculous, it's wrong, it's backwards. And then we have Mike Johnson, who's well, I need more money in my pocket. I'm like, you got to start with somebody who's not wearing that suit, my friend.
Yeah, right. And that haircut. I mean, really.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah. So funny. So you talk about flipping votes. We're big fans of flipping shit around here. So you talk about flipping votes, building trust, and long-term organizing. So which of those wins gets you the most excited?
Oh, I'm not gonna pick. I'm a both and person. The flipping votes, I think, is really interesting because it lets us leverage some like behavioral sciencey sorts of tools that I don't think we do a great job using in politics.
Yeah.
So basically, the way vote flipping works is I would walk up to you, introduce myself. Hi, I'm Kate Barr. I'm your losing candidate for North Carolina Senate District 37. I can't win because of how our voting maps are drawn, but I think it's really important that you as a voter have a choice, so I'm running anyway. If you think it's wrong that I can't win, and we already know that before a single ballot is cast, I want to talk to you about how we fix it, and I want to talk to you about, in this case, Justice Anita Earls. And the like cognitive psychology side of that is that as soon as you tell someone you can't win, you've taken the transaction out of that conversation because you're not trying to get a vote from them. They don't feel like you're trying to sell them something, sell them yourself. Like,
Yes.
And then once you've done that, they now hear you in a completely different way and actually engage with like a slower processing part of their brains. And that's how you flip votes, because you can talk to them about the issues they care about, how that relates back to voting maps, and help them make a choice. Even if up the top of the ticket, they vote Republican still, you increase the chance that towards the bottom of the ticket, they're going to vote for Justice Anita Earls. They're going to vote for a Democratic state legislator. And that is how we get people used to this idea that you don't just have to vote for a single party because that's your identity. You start to practice at the bottom of the ballot, and that can roll up.
Amazing. Rye, thank you so much for joining us. Rye is a trans advocate here in Texas. She's doing amazing, amazing things. I wanted to bring you up, Rye, to talk about your experience lately at the, specifically your story about the Capitol. Can you share that with us?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. This past Saturday, me and a group that I help lead called the 6W Project got together and made a formal protest towards SB 8, the bathroom bill here in Texas. There was a lot of rhetoric from political... Well, our group was founded after going to the Capitol so many times to testify, SB 8 being one of the big bills that we all were against. And so we basically started the protest by using the facilities. DPS did nothing to intervene. We were then... did a speaking portion in the main rotunda. DPS then was allegedly alerted of our presence. So we rounded out that action by trying to use the facilities once more. This time, DPS actually stepped in and intervened. One I believe gentleman. I am not going to try and assume the gender as the DPS agents did to us. But a seemingly cisgender male DPS agent was standing in front of the women's restroom, leaving the men's room also fully open, demanding we prove or provide IDs to show our gender markers to access said restroom. While that was occurring, our head of the organization, Matilda Miller, was able to go in because she had actively got her gender marker replaced before Ken Paxton started doing his whole little hit list. So it was around that time where I was one of the main videographers for the event. Mind you, we had been consulting with ACLU guidelines and with state laws or guidance from ACLU. We knew exactly what we were doing. We were having a peaceful protest. There was no breach of any kind. And I, along with two others, were picked out of the crowd and asked by a DPS officer to step aside. I said, what is this regarding? He said, I need to see your ID. And I'm like, what for? And he also replied with, come on, man. And I go, excuse me? We had a report of a complaint and also security cam footage, to which I believe I retorted something along the lines of, I don't know what X-ray technology you have for your security cameras, but why are you stopping us? And he kept citing, it was a weird experience because DPS was, I don't know if it was just a loud environment or otherwise, but multiple officers were citing SB 8 and SP 8, State Preservation Board 8, which is like the rule they put in place to be in compliance with SB 8. I believe at one point, one of the officers actually pulled up the letter of SB 8, and we were all reminding them that that has no individual punishments. It has, individuals are not at fault, institutions are at fault, and are chosen to be prosecuted by the Attorney General with fines, the first offense being $25,000, every subsequent fine being $125,000. We were making the point that this is going to be used and not used amicably or evenly. It was going to be used to target public buildings that the Attorney General Ken Paxton did not like. And so while this DPS officer is telling me that he needs to see my ID and I am refusing under my constitutional rights, he says, I basically say, am I being detained? Am I being arrested? Again, mixed messages, yes and no. So we were then told to vacate. He also tried to get the three of us away from our crowd, which I was not allowing. I was saying we are not leaving until my group is here otherwise, or if we are leaving and stepping outside, and you're telling me I need to step outside to your squad car, I am making sure my people are with me. So when I kept saying, what rule, he kept citing, oh, if you come out to the squad car, I will show you. So I was not about to go to a second location with this officer. And once everybody at the restroom itself was done, we start moving towards the, I am then being escorted out by DPS. We are told we need to vacate the premises we are. Another DPS agent with conflicting information for us at this point because multiple DPS agents are telling us to leave. Another DPS agent then comes up and says, stop. We're following the majority of orders, which was leave. So our group is leaving and peacefully. I am then stopped by said person who was demanding, puts his hand on my shoulder, puts cuffs on me. And I say, what is this for? What is happening? What is going on? I'm being, or on what charge, basically. Given no explanation, guided over in cuffs to the squad car. They then proceed to ask, I was the only one in cuffs, by the way. I want to make that perfectly clear. I am also someone of mixed race. I am white passing, I like to say to people, but I was definitely, it's still 40 degrees, but it's still sunny. I'm tan. So I was I was very calm and collected in the moment with the adrenaline. However, I've been kind of dealing with the fallout of that ever since and own personal journey with it. But it was a lot of fears from my people. We had set up bail funds as well in the event that something went awry. So we had we were escorted over the squad car, and then one of my other friends in the group was asking questions, and then they lumped them in with us as well. So 4 of us were criminally trespassed or issued warnings of criminal trespass for the Capitol grounds. We are not allowed there for a whole year, and we have faced no recourse other than we're in talks to try and file complaints or otherwise, but our protest was mainly a resounding success, and especially in my own safety and being at home the night of versus in any kind of incarceration. So we were there to show that SB 8 will affect our people. And I was unfortunately, one of the first dominoes to fall in that line. And I kind of prefer that in terms of I'd rather it be me versus having our queer advocates come to the Capitol during a legislative session and then not knowing the guidelines or otherwise be arrested and detained. So it was a harrowing experience, but we all made it out. We brought up the hypocrisy and showed that while they are under the letter of what they are claiming is their rules, it is highly unfair breachings of civil rights. IDs were phrased as as voluntary after the fact, but it was very mandatory, and it was. I'm more than happy to answer any questions too you may have about the action, but it was a fun experience.
Can we get some W's in the chat for Rye, guys? It's seriously, if you don't follow her right now. She's incredible.
Well, thank you.
Like, my jaw's on the floor, dude. And that, like, I call everybody dude. Please don't be offended.
So no problem at all.
But my jaw's on and there's not much in this administration in this timeline that moves my jaw, because I'm just like, of course this is happening. My jaw is firmly in place.
One of my dear family members, I had called and been like, hey, so if you see this is what happened. And they brought up the point too, where it was like, yeah, you have a Hispanic last name on your license. You could have been in a nice detention and you would have been gone for months. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't need that thought in my head right now.
No.
But since we are in such unprecedented times, and don't get me wrong, DPS has never been the most transparent of agencies when it comes to enforcing their policies at the Capitol. We saw it with Representative Collier and the sit-in that took place where they arrested individuals and criminally trespassed them, and Senator Eckhart had to step in to release them from custody. We've seen it throughout regular protests and otherwise. DPS has no qualms or issue. We had a protest one time around the time of the second special session helmed by Melody Chamalo over at Hands Off Central Texas. And we had stated it, I was not an organizer for that. I was an organizer for this action on Saturday. But there was allegedly mysteriously a bomb threat called into the Capitol, so that was all cleared out. And Representative Collier and the other Democrats who joined her were still on the floor and were unable to leave the premises. So DPS has always had selective enforcement, and it is nothing new. We were simply there asserting our civil rights and our own individual rights in the context of the Capitol and public buildings, because if this is implemented in every public building in Texas, this is scary. It was Senator or Representative Orr. I'm blanking on whether they're representative or Senate. But there's a wonderful clip of her talking about SB 8 on the debate podium, and another representative asked, "Oh, so you want to get rid of trans people from public life?" She goes, "Well, not from public life, just bathrooms." and the conservative argument was, "Well, we're not playing potty police. I was told I needed to provide ID to use the restroom that I have always used in public buildings and have had no issues."
What is the option? Like, I don't understand what they think the other, like, what's the alternative? What are you supposed to do? Just drop trow and take a deuce in the middle of the rotunda? I don't understand what they expect you to do.
I mean, they expect you to not show up in public. That's the point,
correct,
right? Is to push you as far out on the fringe as they possibly can. And Rye, thank you for your work. I think selective enforcement is that's the big picture concept.
Because again, too, we had the first movement where we all went to the restroom, no issues, no TPS officers standing there. Because we were a protest group and had eyes on us for that second motion, we actually weren't planning on doing our second motion, but then we were like, hey, this would be a great way to close it out. And of course, DPS, in their infinite wisdom, decided to change up their enforcement in that moment.
And that affects people across the board. Like, this is not just a trans or queer issue. It matters because it is. Like, I'm not using just in that's so small, but this, it's the idea that we are enforcing laws on people who aren't white, on people who aren't cisgendered, on people who aren't straight, like, and people who aren't men. That is like the big picture of how all of this stuff fits together, and all of it is about silencing voices, whether it's voter suppression, whether it's selective enforcement. It is about trying to silence people who disagree.
Absolutely, and I also, during my entire time as being an activist, I have been in. I like to phrase it as I've been in the game for about a year. But during all of the special sessions and legislative sessions, I always like to say, when it comes to my testimonies or my rhetoric, you put a voice changer on me, you put a distorter, everything. And listen to what I'm saying. I am not talking about minority issues in terms of like, this is the real big impact. I'm talking about everybody in the state. If in my speech that I gave that day, I basically said, like, if your kids enjoy books at your local library, Ken Paxton can choose then say that that building has not taken reasonable steps. On Blinn College, which is a feeder campus to A&M, and we're also seeing it at other public universities, they posted signs that said biological women or biological men restrooms. They also included Braille. They also laminated them flat. So the Braille was not raised, so someone who is blind cannot actually read the Braille or the sign that's there. It was typed out in a font. So it goes to show how this forced compliance and this rapid response, our public facilities are scared. I mean, also, I'm Austin local, so in City Hall right now, there is a motion, basically, agenda item 85. I'm actually going to be speaking on it, hopefully, tomorrow. But it's basically carving out, to make sure that queer people in Austin are protected under this law, while also following it or something to that regard. So it is a trying time. We called out what was going to happen, and it happened. So
Shocking.
And it was almost immediate in terms of a retribution on it. So it was it's going to continue to happen, unfortunately.
Rye, I really want you to run for office.
I was just going to say that, Rye. When are you running for office, and when can you and Kate get together to talk about that? Because your voice is so incredibly, I'm looking at you, I'm reaching across the internet, I'm grabbing your hands, girl, and I'm saying, do it, because Texas needs more voices like yours. We need more people like you to run. You can do it. You're amazing. You have so much support. Girl, run.
Well, you and my mother both, so.
Yeah, well, okay, that's good, because, I think the stat is something like women have to be asked to run for office 7 times before they'll do it. Bless them, the guys don't even need to be asked, generally speaking. Rye, I think we've asked you 3 times on this live. Which,
I'll keep a tally, don't you
your
worry.
Mom, we're at 4, so just buckle up. You only got 3 to go, and I will ask you at least 3 more times in the next 5 minutes.
Honestly,
Rye,
it's
run for
something I've
office.
heavily considered. I mean, when it comes to other state runs that I've seen, I've tried to get a lot more involved as of late, because especially when it comes to the trans experience itself. I had a mission statement that I'm actually with the Equality Texas Leadership Program, so I'm learning a lot on how to be a leader. Shout out to Equality Texas, they do amazing work. But they were basically talking about like a mission statement, like, why are you in the game? And I had one even before, like it was for my application for that program, where I've always been ish. I've always been white-ish, normal-ish, boy-ish, all the issues that could have made me pass in our society, but also still face the go back to Mexico rhetoric that would have been faced if I'm out sunbathing. And I have to politely remind them that Puerto Rico has been owned by the United States for 200 years, but that whole conversation usually ceases when they roll up their windows and drive away like cowards. But when it comes to facing trans issues and also being a person of color or mixed, where it does really impact in a certain way, I've seen that impact firsthand, and I know for a fact that like while I have privilege in certain senses, Texas is nothing except hostile to those fringe groups because they think it'll fix their problems. When, like, for example, Raphael, preferred name Ted Cruz, will fly away from his problems and not face our energy grid. And somehow that is an immigrant's fault, that our infrastructure has not been bolstered by Republicans who give small monopolies to these programs and these utility companies. So, yeah, it's definitely something I've considered. And if anybody needs a writer otherwise.
I just want to point out that Mike Johnson's real name is Jonathan. So,
Jonathan?
Yes. I don't know, man.
Johnson.
Oh my God.
Bless his parents' hearts. That's
Jonathan
what we
Johnson
say.
with his app that tells when his son and him are looking at questionable sites. That is...
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Rye, for sharing your experience with us, for sharing your story. I think it is so incredibly important. I want to have you back on our show, so we should talk some more because...
Absolutely, I would love for that.
Yeah, I think that you would be so incredible. You're such an inspiring force, and there's so many people who need to hear your story, and you're already doing amazing things, and I need to nag you more to run for office, so I'm going to do that. Okay?
Right, it was so nice to meet you.
Absolutely. Thank y'all so much. And yes, I got to run back to work before I get kicked out of work, and then we got a whole other issue. So.
And then we have more issues. We don't want that.
Don't do that.
Thank you so much, Rye. Have a wonderful day.
Still, but
yeah, no worries. All good. Thank you. Yeah, gosh. And I don't know if it's like that in North Carolina for trans people as well, but it is such an important conversation to have.
Yep.
And I hate that we have to have it. I absolutely hate that we have to have it.
And it's such an example of how, so I'm trying to remember what year the first North Carolina bathroom bill came to be. It was HB 2. It was pre-COVID, and like all of our stuff had not shifted yet to just like accept these as normal.
Yeah.
And so like businesses stopped coming to North Carolina, like Maroon 5 wouldn't play a concert here. And it had such a significant economic impact that they took it away, that they repealed the bill. And now we're in a place where like this stuff just happens and passes, and like the opportunities that like big corporations or the bands or whomever have to have an economic impact based on those bills, like there's just too much. There is too much to know how to like fight and which thing to fight. And yeah, it's a lot. And I say that as like a white lady who can basically go anywhere and do anything pretty safely. So
yeah, definitely. Heathen, thank you so much for joining the panel. Did you have a question for our guest today?
No, I think I want to introduce myself. So, I am the Precinct 1 chair here in Texas. And I just started, and I think that's kind of why Marcus sent me y'all's way, is because I'm trying to get Smith County to create their Facebook, or not create their Facebook, create their TikTok, and start posting live videos and photos, and trying to interact more here. And we're trying to do more civil engagement, and I think that platforms like this are fantastic for getting people out to vote. Exactly what Kate was talking about, how just going and talking to people. But for me, I think the one difference with Kate is I like numbers. Like, I love showing people the numbers and just like being like, this is what's the truth. So numbers don't lie as much as people think they do.
Oh, I love numbers, Heathen. I'm a scientist. I am so with you on numbers. Yeah, it's like both people numbers, like people power, strength in numbers, and then also all the stuff that Americans agree about, and they're telling us we're so polarized, but really It's that they don't want to work on the things that we all think should be done. Like 74% of Americans think we should have safe storage laws. I think we have 80% of Americans think that routine childhood vaccinations are a good idea. I want to say it's 72% who think that immigration is good for our country. Like, we agree about a bunch of stuff.
2A?
A whole bunch of stuff.
2A is a fantastic example of that.
Yep. It's just
exactly. I mean, especially look at Vermont. Vermont is a heavy 2A state, but still heavily Democratic. These things can't exist as concurrently. And people just dismiss it as, oh, the left don't want you to have any pew-pews whatsoever.
Yep.
And that's entirely wrong.
Yep. And I think what's interesting in your role as precinct chair, the place that we can have a real impact in these gerrymandered districts right now today is in the primaries. So from a numbers perspective, the Republican congressional primary I'm running in has 544,111 registered voters. But because it's a primary and primary voter turnout is so low, based on historic turnout, I need 33,000 votes to win, which is an incredibly small number. So we can start to shift outcomes by working in the primaries in addition to working in these general elections if we're willing to get a bit creative about it. I will say that sentiment doesn't make me super popular with even some of the Democratic establishment, but I also think, I don't have time and we don't have time to waste like being precious about party letters.
Yeah.
I completely agree. My goal for 2026 for the first 3 months is to go to every house, at least knock on the door in my precinct, try to talk to one person just about voting in the primaries. Because, we have 2 fantastic Democrats in our senator primary right now. And we've never had this much interest in our senatorial primaries. And I think that if we just get involved right now with the primaries, that going forward, we're going to change one of our 2 seats red to blue. And I am so excited for it.
Yeah, your Democratic primary is awesome. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say exactly the same thing that you are, is that we're gonna be set. We're going to be set as far as Cornyn's seat is either way, right? If it's Tallarico, if it's Jasmine Crockett, we're good. We're good. Now we just got to focus on getting that smarmy ferret man out of office next and flipping our governor and our lieutenant governor. Dan Patrick's got to go. And, luckily if Ken Paxton gets defeated, we don't have to see him a little bit for a little while. So that's always good. But
well, I'm always hoping, we all know that he bribed his way out of his impeachment trial. My goal in life, well, not in life, in election-wise, would be after he is defeated for him to actually be tried for the cases he needed to be tried for. And so bribery being the number one.
Yeah.
So.
The corruption is just sloshing over all over the place. Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere right now. And it's allowed. I think that they're celebrating it.
Yeah. The congressman I'm running against is notorious for making stock trades right before the government intervenes in some sort of company.
Yeah.
He bought Intel stock and he's just that guy and he's made a whole bunch of money off of it and he'll do kind of whatever he has to do to keep his seat to be able to keep getting rich off of it. And it really sucks.
Yeah, that part, right. Yeah, it's really frustrating. So thank you so much, Heathen, for everything that you do. Thank you for being a precinct chair. That is so incredibly important. And I get to boast a little bit about Texas because we don't have a single seat that's running unopposed right now. Woo. Every single one of them is being run by somebody. So I think that the people of Texas are super freaking pissed And I'm loving this energy. So you're a big,
That is
you're a
hard
big,
to
huge
do.
help to that.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So thank you so much for all your work, Heathen. I appreciate you.
Nice to meet y'all. Thank you for having me up. I followed everyone, so I can't wait to keep in contact and hopefully get this Smith County Democrats TikTok launched, and I'll send y'all follow request on that one too.
Amazing. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye. So I don't know how much time you have left. I know we're running a little bit over. Are you okay for time?
I have like 7 more minutes. Yes.
Okay, so let's do some rapid fire stuff here, okay?
I'm gonna try. I'm bad at rapid fire. Like
that's okay. I am too.
I believe in me and us.
I do. We can do this. Okay, so what was your first protest slogan?
For Kate Barr Can't Win, it was Clear Eyes, Full Hearts Can't Win. My first actual protest was as a child against George Bush Sr. In the first Gulf War, but I don't remember what my sign said.
It's okay. That's fair. What's one political movement that made you cry, good or bad?
Oh my gosh, there are too many. Black Lives Matter has made me cry in good and bad ways.
That's fair. Same girl. What is your hype song before a big campaign push?
Chinchilla, Little Girl Gone.
Nice. Comfort food after a brutal election night?
Jello shots.
that definitely counts. I love it. If you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
Oh my gosh, I would be still working as a behavioral scientist.
Amazing.
Love that job.
Scotty wants to know, what do you think about the removal of the Electoral College?
Yeah. Yep. I mean, like, I also think that we need to take the cap off the House and make U.S. House districts smaller. So
I agree.
I really want to mess around with some of that stuff, but Constitution.
The Constitution is supposed to be a living document.
Yes.
And it's supposed to have changed more than it has.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't understand what that's all about. But yeah. So, okay, cool. So in the last 6 minutes that we have together, I want to kind of switch gears for a little bit and talk about our wins, because Wednesday is all about winning, folks, right? And it's really, really important that we celebrate those wins. So today is December 10th, and we need to talk about the Miami mayoral victory that happened. Because you guys, I don't know if you know this, but Eileen Higgins broke a 30-year losing streak for her party in Miami, defeating Trump-backed Emilio Gonzalez in a runoff election in Florida, of all places. This race was seen as a national bellwether and adds momentum for Democrats heading into the midterms. So I think that is super duper cool. There have been several federal appeal court rulings for Alina Habba, who's Trump's pick for U.S. Attorney in New Jersey, that were struck down. She is no longer able to serve. Similarly, Lindsay Halligan was appointed as an interim U.S. Attorney for Virginia. She was disqualified. The courts found that the DOJ overstepped legal limits on interim appointments. Thank goodness for that. Multiple legal defeats. Judges across the country blocked Trump's effort to gut Voice of America, to use the Alien Enemies Act for deportations, to implement an executive order curtailing race-based programs, anti-DEI, to strip collective bargaining rights for federal employees, to withhold federal funds from sanctuary cities, and to seize control over the election administration from the states. These rulings collectively represent a major judicial pushback against Trump's attempts to centralize power to the executive branch and dismantle civil rights protections. These are huge, guys. Huge wins.
And Texas is running everywhere, right?
Texas is running everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's so many wins.
There's so many wins. I'm going to have a deeper dive on this on our Discord. So if you guys want to check out our Discord, send us a message. You got to be following It Takes a Village. Send us a little message and we'll get you into our Discord where we're going to have all of this stuff. Amazing stuff. We're going to have all of Kate Barr's information in there as well. I don't know if you have a Discord. Do you have a Discord?
I don't.
Can't Win?
I need a Discord and a Substack. I'm an old person a little bit, you guys.
Me too. Me too. So here's what we can do. If you're interested, I'm just going to plant this little seed. If you want, we can build you a little corner for Can't Win in our Discord. It's already got a ton of information in there already that your candidates are going to need anyways. There's going to be tons of information on activism. There's candidate resources in there. There's tons and tons and tons of stuff. So if you would like, we can build you a little corner in there, and you can just have all of your team and all your folks go in there until you guys get your
you are just
Discord
really too good to us. Thank you.
We love you. We love you guys. We love what you're doing. I'm so excited to have you a part of the village. We need more people like you involved. We need more people whose passion outweighs their fear, and that is incredibly important right now. So I can't thank you enough for taking the time to talk with us today. Oh
my gosh, thank you.
For chilling with us, for answering all of our questions. I had so many more questions, and I'm totally going to email them to you so that you can answer them, because we ran out of time today. But and then I'm going to write a fabulous article about you on our Substack. So people, our 4 subscribers on Substack, we're a baby effort. We're a baby effort, you guys. We got to start somewhere. Everybody started with 3 followers and a dream, okay?
Yes, so true.
So yes, I will be putting that on there, and we will get it out to as many people as possible. We're in such a weird space right now, right?
Yes, we are. Yep.
So,
but you're doing it, and that's awesome.
We're doing the best we can. So folks, if you want to get involved with the Can't Win Victory Fund, this is the information that you need right here. Be the support, be the solution, be the cause, do all the things. And Kate, do you want to give more information on how people can get involved with the Can't Win Victory Fund? Because you are currently in North Carolina, but you have big dreams and big hopes to take this national.
We sure do.
And maybe Rye would be a fantastic place in Texas to start.
Yes, please. We are currently fundraising to be able to go into other states. And if we accomplish that, I would like for Can't Win to support all of you running for office. So if it's something that you've thought about, get in touch. If you have special skills that can be useful to candidates, please get in touch. We are always looking for amazing volunteers. And you can find me at Kate Barr Can Win all over the old people social media channels. And then can'twinvictoryfund.com to sign up for things and raise your hand if you want to volunteer.
Amazing. I love this. I love this for us. So, okay, incredible. So we'll be in touch. I want to talk to you about your Discord section.
Yep.
If you're interested in doing that. And of course, if anybody needs to get a hold of you, they know how to do that. Please, everybody who's in here, be following Kate. And, we're just going to build ourselves a nice little village. We'll build our own freaking table. We're going to flip all the rest of them over. So America deserves the best of us. And that's what we're doing. So
Thank you. It was so good to see you.
Likewise, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. Thank you so much for everybody in the chat for joining us today. I really, really appreciate all of you. It was a weird time, but I love that you all were here today. It was fantastic. And what better way to wrap up our Wednesday wins than to talk to the Can't Win Victory Fund? I mean, it just works. It's wonderful. You all should be super excited because on Friday we have another amazing candidate, this one from New Hampshire, coming to us to talk to us about the state of play in her state and how she's flipping tables over there to make big changes for the country. So Paige Bushman, I'm butchering her last name. She's going to tell me all about that when I talk to her on Friday. You guys don't want to miss it. It's going to be 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central. Can't wait for that. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much, Kate. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay? Bye.
It takes a village.